There's more news straight ahead tonight.
The news at 6 starts right now.
Well, it's the home stretch of the 2016 presidential campaign.
I'm Megan Matthews, and now that early voting is underway, I'll detail the levy that could cost you hundreds of dollars in taxes.
Who is this high school sophomore accused of threatening mass murder?
I'm Laura Borchers. The Hilliard community remains stunned. Now, new information on a thwarted school shooting plan, plus words from John Staley's attorney.
It's beautiful outside now, but there is rain on the radar. Coming up, when you can expect the downpours.
From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News at 6.
We've heard from the candidates for months now, and now it's your turn to send a message. Today is the first day of early voting in Ohio in one of the most divisive, polarizing presidential campaigns ever. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Jerry Revish.
And I'm Kristen Hartman. It all comes down to the next 27 days. 10 TV will be with you every step of the way through campaign 2016. Scott is tracking early voting tonight in states across the country, but we want to start in your own backyard.
Megan Matthews live at Mays Road Elementary School tonight. She's looking at Issue 57, the Columbus City Schools levy that would affect your wallet. Megan?
Well, Jerry, if this passes, the three-part ballot issue would in some way repair all 109 schools in the Columbus City School District, and that includes Mays Elementary. But it will do more than just make repairs. It's called Issue 57. And it is going to cost taxpayers.
I need you to open your language arts books to page 515, please.
In the classroom.
515.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Carter wants to change lives.
Being a teacher is wearing multiple hats. You're a father, you're an uncle, you're a counselor, and a teacher too. And so I love what I do.
His love to help got him here, teaching at Columbus City Preparatory School for Boys. But his passion can only go so far.
Right now, we're working on getting smart boards in every classroom. We're working on making sure we have enough aides in the classroom to help us. Right now, I have a class, my first period is 33 young people. 33, first started today. It's me.
Issue 57 could be the help Mr. Carter needs. The levy proposed by the Columbus City School District would add 290 new teachers, aides, nurses, social workers, and more. It would fix leaking roofs, pipes, heat and air, and improve safety at school.
Right now, I wish we had more technology at our fingertips.
Issue 57 would also give CCS a permanent improvement levy for ongoing maintenance. While some voters haven't heard of it.
I'm not familiar with it.
I don't know.
Not all of them are for it. In 2013, voters failed to pass a levy for the district. Issue 57 would increase school property tax by 17% and cost taxpayers $242 more per $100,000 home value.
So right now, as the story opens up,
Mr. Carter just hopes it's enough.
At the end of the day, I love helping people.
So the last time the Columbus City School District asked for a levy and it passed was 2008. Reporting live in Columbus, Megan Matthews, 10 TV News.
All right, thanks a lot. And depending on the timing of early voting, it can boost a campaign or doom a campaign.
Sure can. And Ohio is not alone when it comes to people making up their minds right now. Our political anchor Scott Light is here with his national map and, of course, some perspective. Hello, Scott.
Kristen, you called it. Ohio isn't alone. So we're going to fill in here the map here as we go. I'll step out of the way so you can see all of these states that have begun early voting already. 16 to be exact, and some political observers feel this gives an advantage to Hillary Clinton. As Jerry mentioned, it's all about timing. The discovery last weekend of those lewd comments by Donald Trump marked the worst weekend of his campaign. Then we had another debate, and then this week, he's dominated headlines by hammering fellow Republicans in several states, ranging from Senator John McCain out in Arizona to House Speaker Paul Ryan. all of this won't help him, especially with moderates and independents who are filling out their ballots right now. Also, we're going to fill in 6 more states on this map next week because those states begin early voting then. Ohio is on the minds, though, of both presidential candidates this week. Donald Trump will be in Florida early tomorrow, and then he'll fly into Southwest Ohio for a rally in downtown Cincinnati. Finally, Trump will take part in a private event here in Columbus. And Air Force One will land in town tomorrow. President Obama is expected to speak at the Ohio Democratic Party's annual state dinner. That's happening at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. It's still unclear if he's going to campaign directly for Hillary Clinton, but there's a pretty good chance he will bring up the upcoming election. 10 TV, of course, will have coverage of all 3 events for you beginning tomorrow on 10 TV News at 5 o'clock. Jerry, back to you.
Thanks, Scott. And at 10 TV, we're gearing up for next week's big senatorial debate. Incumbent Senator Rob Portman and former Ohio Governor Ted Strickland will go head-to-head in our studios. I'll moderate the debate on Monday night, 7 p.m. You can watch it on air and online at 10tv.com.
A planned shooting on a mass scale. We are finding out more tonight about this 16-year-old's plans, alleged plans, to bring guns to a Hilliard High School and just start shooting. 10 TV's Laura Borchers joins us from Hilliard-Davidson High School.
The community surrounding this school system remains stunned. Now, Hilliard police and the school system itself reassure safety after federal investigators followed John Staley III since last month. 16-year-old Staley is now being held after being charged with planning a mass school shooting and recruiting others to help. According to court documents, Staley had shared a map with 2 students on a school bus, and both students agreed to take part. Today, one of his family members spoke briefly to 10 TV, indicating they were overwhelmed and referring questions to their attorney.
There's nothing that suggests he actually had weapons. There's nothing that suggests that he actually brought weapons to school, and I don't think there's going to be any evidence of that. As the juvenile court process goes forward, I think there'll be some psychological work. I think we'll learn a lot more about that as the case progresses.
Hilliard police did confirm they've received calls from concerned parents today. They reiterate there is direct communication from the schools to their communication office. Plus, they say they do have surveillance ongoing, and Hilliard police reinforce that old adage, see something, say something. From Hilliard, I'm Laura Borchers, 10 TV News.
Can't hear those words enough. Now tonight, Staley remains behind bars, facing a first-degree felony charge of conspiracy to commit murder. Groups are weighing in on whether he needs to remain in the juvenile system or tried as an adult. You can learn how the system works at 10 TV.
Right now, Columbus police are hunting for the person who shot a man to death in the middle of the afternoon. Investigators say the gunfire rang out around noontime in the 400 block of Marcuson Avenue. That's near Ann Street in South Columbus. The victim died less than an hour later. At last check, homicide detectives were still on the scene. Police haven't named the victim or any suspects. Whitehall police just released these pictures of a robbery at a video game store. Police say it happened yesterday at the GameStop on East Main Street. Police say the bandit showed a handgun to the clerk, took $800 in video games plus cash. If you know him, call police.
New tonight, a traffic alert for Orange Township. You could see some brake lights when construction work shifts from the western side of Orange Road to the eastern side. We are talking about the stretch from U.S. Route 23 to North Central Drive. Our partners at This Week Community News say it is set to close on Monday. It could be closed until November 23rd. Crews are widening that intersection between North Central Drive and Route 23. They are also adding turning lanes. You can get traffic alerts morning, day, and night at 10tv.com/traffic. And be sure to check in with Brittany Bagley every morning starting at 4:25.
Lots of great sunshine today, but clouds are moving into central Ohio, and we know what that means. It's going to get a little wet out here, right?
And we could use a little bit of rain.
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
also going to cool us down quite a bit, Jerry. So
okay.
Get used to that. Let's take you over to live Doppler 10 radar. The rain we're referring to just now crossing from Indiana into Ohio, but I think it's still a little ways from us here in central Ohio. There are a lot of showers back here. There's been a few rumbles of thunder in Indiana as well. These showers lasting through at least the morning drive tomorrow. So here's what we're tracking. Clouds on the increase here as we go through the evening and tonight. Expect showers by midnight. The showers lasting into your morning drive, so allow a little extra time and maybe wake up tomorrow morning for sure to check in with Mike and Brittany. Cooler weather following, and when I say that, I mean we could actually see some frost across much of central Ohio. So we're going to talk about when that will move in. We'll look ahead to the Buckeye game this weekend. We got lots going on. I'll see you back here in a few minutes.
You can count on it. Thank you, Chris. Ahead tonight, it is an epidemic that does not discriminate.
It can happen here on campus. We're not ignoring it.
Drug overdoses, college students, and the new way OSU is fighting addiction.
And later, it's more than just a parade of horses.
This is an exciting time for the city and for the state.
The multi-million-dollar reason the Quarter Horse Congress is good for Columbus.
Closed captioning on 10 TV is sponsored by Custom Air.
If you like doorbusters, you're going to love the Ashley Columbus Day sale, now extended. Save up to 55% off and more. Plus, no interest for 48 months. And get doorbusters like this sofa for just $4.99. Ends 9 p.m. Monday at Ashley Home Store.
Education is the foundation of our future. Every child deserves access to a high-quality education. That's why Stephanie Kunze supported one of the largest investments in K-12 education in Ohio history. So more dollars went to students in the classroom. Kunze worked with parents and teachers, strengthened standards, and held every school accountable to taxpayers, public and charter. Higher standards, more accountability for Ohio's future.
I'm Stephanie Kunze, and that's why I'm running for state senate.
Election Day is November 8th, but you don't have to wait to cast your vote. This year you have two options to skip the lines and vote early. Registered Franklin County voters can vote in person at the Board of Elections. Location and hours are listed on our website. Or apply for an absentee ballot and vote early by mail. Fill out the absentee request form on our website or call to ask for the form. Follow the instructions on the mail-in ballot to ensure your vote is returned on time. Early voting, it's your vote at your convenience.
Senator Rob Portman and Congressman Pat Tiberi are working hard for Central Ohio. They've fought to protect workers and manufacturers from unfair trade practices and have pushed policies to empower businesses to grow and create jobs. And as the heroin epidemic has gripped Ohio, Portman and Tiberi have led efforts to stop the continued distribution of these dangerous drugs. Call Senator Portman and Congressman Tiberi. Thank them for fighting for Ohio. The American Chemistry Council is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Our next president faces daunting challenges in a dangerous world. Iran promoting terrorism, North Korea threatening, ISIS on the rise, Libya and North Africa in chaos. Hillary Clinton failed every single time as Secretary of State. Now she wants to be president. Hillary Clinton doesn't have the fortitude, strength, or stamina to lead in our world. She failed as Secretary of State. Don't let her fail us again.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the Hilton in Polaris. Browse over 40 hot tubs and swim spas at huge discounts. That's this weekend at the Hilton in Polaris. Visit spashow.com.
Doppler 10 Weather Bug is sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services.
New tonight, The Ohio State University has new access to a tool in the fight against heroin. It's one of 2 universities in the country with this specific life-saving drug.
As 10 TV News reporter Glenn McIntyre tells us, it is all thanks to a recent change in Ohio law.
Sarah Nerad knows the struggle of being young and battling addiction.
I'm a young woman in long-term recovery, which for me means I haven't used drugs or alcohol since August 16th of 2007.
Today, she's not only an example that recovery is possible, she also leads the collegiate recovery community at The Ohio State University.
Once you're surrounded by peers that are in recovery doing pro-social activities that understand that unique struggle of what does it mean to be young and in recovery and going to school, it makes this whole process so much easier.
That's only if you get the chance at recovery. Today in Ohio, opiate overdoses are taking the lives of up to 7 people every day. That's where this life-saving kit comes in.
It has a 4 different parts here. It has 2 doses, And that's because typically for naloxone kit, 1 dose is not enough.
Naloxone, also known as Narcan, is the drug that can stop an overdose from turning fatal. It's been used by first responders and loved ones of addicts to save countless lives.
You simply remove the caps, install the nasal adapter, and you squirt half the dose on one side of the nose and the other half on the other side.
And now at OSU, it's more accessible than ever.
As a layperson, you can come in off this as a student or a caregiver. You don't have to be the patient. It's ideally for the caregiver to carry because the patient obviously isn't going to be able to get themselves on the overdose.
Ohio lawmakers, seeing the value of naloxone, passed a bill this summer to allow pharmacies to dispense it without a prescription. Ohio State began selling it last month.
We as a university are just trying to help out our fellow community. You can be an employee, come and get this medication. You can be a student. You can be a caregiver.
NERAD calls it a proactive step that will save lives. But she says it's only one step on the journey to a healthier, safer campus.
Ask for help. We're here to support you, to champion you, and there's no shame in reaching out for help and starting the rest of your life.
Glenn McIntyre, 10 TV News.
NERAD estimates about 950 students on Ohio State's campus are in or seeking recovery. You can find the pharmacy dispensing naloxone that is closest to you just by going to our website, 10tv.com. Chillicothe City schools and Dublin are among districts arming school nurses and teachers with Narcan. Chillicothe was the first district to start carrying it. That happened earlier this year. Police and paramedics are also armed with it, and pharmacies like CVS sell it right over the counter.
New at 6, Experience Columbus says the All-American Quarter Horse Congress brings in $275 million to the capital city. It is the largest annual convention in Columbus and the largest single-breed horse show in the world. Today, as part of the fun, Columbus Mayor Andy Ginther rode a horse to work. He says this year's event is special because it's the 50th anniversary.
You think about it, for 50 years, so our city's just turned 200 back in 2012. So you think about it, for nearly a quarter of our city's life, the Quarter Horse Congress has been bringing people from around the country and the world to Columbus, America's opportunity city.
This year's show at the Ohio Expo Center on the State Fairgrounds has more than 21,000 competitors vying for a share of $3 million in prize money. This event is expected to draw 650,000 people throughout October. And there is such a ancillary benefit to that. Laundry companies come on board because they like their jeans starched and creased.
And who would even think of that, you know?
And they come there to do all that. Plus, you know, you got the trade shows and all the equipment.
And it just brings flavor.
It does.
You know?
It's
That's what
huge.
I love about it.
Yep.
Well, it has been a beautiful day so far, but there's a big but in that.
We could see some rain in the overnight hours.
I know how you meant that, Kristen. Oh, I got you there.
You gotta be a little cheeky sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I pull one out. All right, let's look at live Doppler 10 radar here tonight, where showers are moving in from the west. After midnight tonight, we'll see a little rain coming in here. Probably a little better chance, I think, 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. There actually been some thunderstorms as well back here across northern Indiana. There are showers back across central Indiana from Muncie down here through Connorsville. Those coming not too far from the Ohio line. But don't worry, it's going to be a few more hours before they move into the Columbus metro area. The clouds starting to thicken up just a little bit, but I think it's going to be a nice sunset. This is the view on our camera, our Doppler 10 network camera right now, and there's the sun right there in Marion County. Temp made it up to 77 today. Right now it's 75. Winds out of the south at 15 and the relative humidity at 40%. So let's walk you through the forecast hour by hour. At 7, we're still comfortable, right around 71 degrees. As we take you through the evening hours tonight, I think we're dry in Columbus. There may be a few showers approaching. We're about 63 at 11. Then the rain overspreading the area during the overnight. Count on showers for that morning drive. And if you're up at 7 a.m., still dark, but the temperature right around 72. So hour by hour, we time out the rain. Here it is crossing into our area 10, 11 o'clock tonight to our west. So Bellefontaine, Canton, Urbana coming right into Columbus. And tomorrow morning for the morning drive, yeah, we've got rain right on top of us. So even a little bit of rain could make the roads a little slick just because it's been so dry for basically the entire month. 52 here in the morning, 53 in Coshocton. Chillicothe will wake up around 54. All right, let's pick it up at 7 a.m., take you through the day. This is a cold front that's coming by. The rain moves out pretty quick. By noon, we're starting to see some brightening skies, and I think we're going to turn mostly clear by this time tomorrow night. But cold front coming by, clear skies. I think there's going to be frost across much of the area tomorrow night. I wouldn't be surprised if frost advisories are issued. Let's break down tomorrow for you this way. Count on rain in the morning. We're right around 53. At noon, not much of a warm-up, so jackets at 55, wouldn't you say? This is about 10, 15 degrees cooler than today. We came close to 80 in many spots today. Our high temperature tomorrow, just the lower 60s. Looking ahead, we'll be dry for high school football Friday night. In fact, Friday should be bright and sunny. Looking ahead to Saturday, Buckeyes will be playing up in Wisconsin, and there's a storm system that'll move through Wisconsin, then come into Ohio over the weekend, and it's up that way first. So for tailgating, if you're lucky enough to have a ticket, there'll be clouds. At the kickoff, we'll start to see some scattered showers. And we'll have to watch because there's even the chance that there could be an embedded thunderstorm based on the latest forecast. Looking ahead at the 10-day Sunday, those rain showers from Wisconsin move here. It could be a little tricky for the Columbus Marathon, then delightful next week, except Tuesday, when it's going to be warm and there could even be some storms. We'll have to watch out for that.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
10 TV's Dave Holmes joins us now for sports. Hey, Dave.
Hey there, Kristen. This Saturday, the Buckeyes face their biggest challenge of the season so far, a road game against the Wisconsin Badgers. So, what should the players expect at Camp Randall Stadium? It will be crazy. And remember, the Buckeyes haven't played in Madison since 2012, so there are only a couple guys on this team that were even on the roster back then. In fact, the Buckeyes and Badgers haven't played since that game you're looking at right there, the 2014 Big Ten title game. We remember that. OSU dominated. But that game doesn't mean a whole lot at this point.
Things are changed up. So when they bring in a new coach, it's hard to go back and watch the old film and kind of get notes from that to carry over. But, you know, Wisconsin, they usually show up and play a big game, and they're a good team. And they've won some big games this year, and they look pretty good.
It is Hockey Eve at Nationwide Arena. Tomorrow night, finally, the Blue Jackets open the regular season against the Boston Bruins. Hard to know what to expect this season out of the Blue Jackets. Last year, they had sky-high expectations and then struggled out of the gate. This year, they're flying under the radar, but do have the talent to make a run at the playoffs. Head coach John Tortorella has a solid group of veterans and some flashy young talent. Now it's his job to get these guys to work together.
Like you said, it's a good mix, you know, so we got some new faces, you know, a good mix of younger and older guys, and, you know, collectively I think we're all pretty hungry to get going and, you know, prove ourselves here and get rolling.
On Friday, the Cleveland Indians opened the American League Championship Series at home against the Toronto Blue Jays, a best-of-7 series that could very well go the distance. After all, the Indians and Jays played 7 times in the regular season. The Indians won 4 games to 3. So game 1 is tomorrow, or on Friday rather. The Indians will throw their ace Corey Kluber against Marco Estrada. Cleveland will turn to Trevor Bauer in game 2 and Josh Tomlin in game 3. And while the Indians haven't won a World Series in 68 years, the Cubs are looking for their first title since 1908. They are one step closer after a come-from-behind win over the San Francisco Giants. The Cubs now advance to meet the winner of the Nationals and the Dodgers in the NLCS. What you cannot see off camera is our resident Cubs homer, Kristen Hartman, smiling like the Cheshire Cat.
Ear, yes.
Ear to ear.
I have to tell you, though, the way that game ended, that is new Cubs.
That is the new Cubs.
That is new Cubs.
And if the Cubs meet the Indians, that would be 2 tortured fan bases. So
wouldn't that be great?
Someone's going to experience more heartache, but someone finally gets to end a curse.
High drama, man.
It would be, yeah. A lot of baseball to play before then, though.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
We'll be back with a final check of the forecast.
Big Sandy's Columbus Day Sale Kitchen Package event has been held over for one final weekend. Save $1,000 on this Frigidaire 4-piece package. Now just $14.99. And see the area's largest selection of black stainless appliances. Plus interest-free financing through Tuesday at Big Sandy Superstores.
Human trafficking is the second leading crime in the country. I came from a good family, and it still got me. Nobody should be bought and sold. We need to rescue these kids. Rob Portman brought this issue to light. Rob Portman said, if you buy somebody for sex, we're going after you. Tougher penalties, more jail time. as a survivor of human trafficking, that gave me hope. We need more people like Rob Portman.
I'm Rob Portman, and I approve this message.
Get it all in the fall at Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Dublin. Low prices, low payments, bonus cash, and more. Get it all now. Low prices, up to $15,000 off on new Ram 1500s during Ram Power Days, or up to $8,000 off on new Jeep Cherokees during the Jeep Celebration event. Plus, available 0% APR. You can get it all this fall. Rush to Crown Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Dublin. The better way to buy.
Republican Ron O'Brien has been running for office for 30 years, but he's run away from the tough calls, failing to prosecute charter schools that rip off taxpayers or to prosecute fellow Republicans. Instead, our jails are filled with nonviolent offenders.
I'm Zach Klein. As council president, I'm equipping police with body cameras to keep everyone safer. And as prosecutor, I'll be tough on violence, trafficking, and corruption, and put nonviolent addicts in treatment, not prison.
Democrat Zach Klein for prosecutor.
When I was 1 year old, I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer on my spinal cord. But I spent my whole life fighting back. So you can imagine what I thought when I saw Donald Trump say,
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
That reporter he is talking about suffers from a chronic condition that impairs movement of his arms.
I don't want a president who makes fun of me. I want a president who inspires me. And that's not Donald Trump.
Priorities USA Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You know, we have a really cool showroom. We want you to come in, feel comfortable, look around. We want you to take the time and make sure that what you choose and what you pick is what you want.
Visit Rosati Windows and save 35% by October 31st.
As a former Army Reserve specialist, Laura Lanise understands the meaning of service. That's why Laura Lanise wants to continue working for our communities to keep drugs off the streets and provide treatment for addicts. Putting Franklin County families first. Laura Lanise for State Representative.
A husband and a father, Jim Hughes works every day to make Ohio safe and secure. As a former prosecutor, he respects the law and will never stop fighting for victims. Jim Hughes for State Representative.
Chevy vehicles lower than supplier pricing only from Central Ohio's GM Giant. Like this amazing offer on a new 2017 Chevy Equinox. Find new roads with the GM Giant. ConklinChevy.com.
10 TV Skyview is sponsored by Tempstar Heating and Cooling Products and Custom Air.
We want to thank our viewers who've made submissions to this month's Heartland Project. If you haven't had a chance, we invite you to go to 10tv.com/Heartland Project and answer this question. What does your vote mean? Your story could be featured right here on 10 TV.
All right, let's take a look at that 7-day forecast, and I want to highlight Sunday because that's the big Columbus Marathon. There'll be thousands of runners and spectators. Right now, it appears there will be the chance for some showers. I had someone write me today and say, I've been training for months, and you're going to make it rain. No.
You're the rainmaker, Chris. You're the rainmaker.
That's me, rainmaker. Sorry.
Training in the rain is part of that, right?
That must be.
Okay.
Hey, we want to thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next.
And we'll see you back here tonight at 11. Enjoy your evening.